Love what you do. How often do we hear this sentence? And concerning the piano, this is one of the biggest misunderstandings because, of course, you should love music. If you don't love music, then please don't play, right? But if you assume that loving music will be enough for you to make progress, then that's absolutely wrong. And the problem is that leads you to frustration, and so many people quit because they believe by pure passion they will achieve their goals. And this is absolutely not true. Look, if you're starting out with your piano journey, or even if you're advanced, you already need a clear structure for your practice. Otherwise, you can also just keep the lid shut. But let's assume you want to practice something, right? Then you have to know how many times to repeat a passage, how to identify the problems, how to make sure you end up playing better after each practice session. And this misunderstanding that you just need to love music will lead you to just playing through the piece from the beginning to the end, not taking care of the details, and also avoiding challenges. Because if you think that you have to love every single step on the journey, you will unconsciously push away things that are hard and difficult for you. Therefore, you stagnate and you are on a plateau and you cannot make any more progress. So, you need to adapt to that and also accept challenges and frustration as something that moves you forward on your journey. And let me tell you, there is much deeper satisfaction coming from this if you're actually making good progress with music and if you actually can rely on the strategy that you've laid out for yourself. I've seen it many times among hobby players that people assume that music is somewhat different, that you don't need to train like you would for sports, or that you don't have to be disciplined. But the pity is that actually your passion will go away with this. Because if you stagnate in your playing and you can never really play the pieces or songs you would like to do, then of course you will not have progress, right? And it's just a pity that not more people talk about this, because if you, let's say, you just start playing something and you just start playing a few songs here and there, you just fumble around on the keyboard, you put your hands on the chords and just try to play some chords, but nobody ever shows you how to actually learn real pieces, how to read music and how to build that understanding of what you're actually doing, then it will not move forward for you. So, what do you need to do instead? First of all, you need to accept that challenges and also frustration are part of the progress. And you have to frame that in like a bigger context. And finding meaning in music is more important than finding the joy of the moment, right? So you want to have meaning, and then you will also endure all the difficulties you need to overcome over time. What you then need to do is you need to learn music not by simply reading sheet music or learning theory. That's also the wrong approach. You need to learn by imitation, because as you learn a language when you're young, you learn the best when you imitate. So how did you learn English or whatever is your first language? You imitated your parents, your friends, people around you, even without understanding what it meant, right? And then only later did you add reading, writing. So what you need to do is you need to imitate certain steps, right? So for example, if I play a piece like what I give to many of my mentees, the Türk Arioso, which is rather a beginner piece, not completely, but and so on. You'd need to imitate that, right? If you want to make progress. So you imitate that and listen very carefully on how that sounds and how you will then transfer that to the piano. Then later you will see also the notes and you'll understand, this sign means that. A slur means legato. P means soft touch. And then you put it together. And also when you then start to understand the harmonies behind it, for example, this is F major, you will already connect it to a certain sound. And this is the key thing here. So you learn by imitation and then by following a clear structure, or how many times to repeat something, how many times to practice, how long to practice, etc. And if you put that together and you have a certain discipline, then you can follow through and you can actually master your dream pieces and your songs. Let me be honest with you, that's not a path for the next 3 weeks. It's also not a path for 2 or 3 months. It's a path for several years. And if you're able to commit to learning really well, I'm not just talking about certain apps or just a few YouTube videos, but if you really want to learn music well because it is meaningful to you and you don't just want to enjoy the moment, then you should apply for a free first strategy lesson with me at aaronpilson.com/academy, because you probably don't want to go to music school to learn with children, and you also probably don't know how you can get really qualified teachers at your conservatoire or wherever you want to look out. So apply for that lesson here and we can just work out a plan on how you can achieve your goals with the piano and then see if we want to collaborate in the long term. So thanks for watching this video. I wish you lots of success for your piano journey and we see each other again in the next video. Bye bye.